from the city named after South Africa's most revered icon, good evening and welcome to this evening's election debate. Tonight is the ANC versus the DA versus the UDM versus COPE as the battle for the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan Municipality hots up. My name is Vuyo Mvoko and I'm your moderator for this debate. Brought to you by SABC News, and tonight in conjunction with the city of the Nelson Mandela Metro for being kind enough to give us this particular venue. Well, so what we are asking is going to separate these parties from one another, and what is it that is going to take to win or lose this election, and to help us understand what the issues are and what all these parties are all about. Our panelists here. I'm going to start with the UDM's mayoral candidate, Mr. Mongameli Bobani. You have a minute, sir, to tell us what your party is all about in this metro.
Good evening, Vuyo. Also, good evening to your listeners. The basic element that the UDM will base its election manifesto is that when we take over on the 3rd of August, as we are going to take over on the 3rd of August, our interest will be to put the interest of the community first. And then we eradicate poverty. Poverty in this particular municipality is rife. The UDM will definitely eradicate poverty. Economic development in terms of creating job opportunities. Not with what is happening right now, whereby you'll find out that the jobs is only for friends and for deployment. A UTM government will employ everyone, whether you are a UTM or ANC, as long as you qualify for that particular job. So the UTM will put the interest of the community. The UTM will ensure that the bucket system that is actually rife in this municipality comes to an end after the 3rd of August. Corruption will be the end of the day after the 3rd of August.
Thank you, sir. Your minute is up. Well, Mr. Little Suka is the chief whip of the ruling party in the metro. You have a minute, sir, to tell us what your party is all about.
Thank you, Vuyo. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, once again. I just want to say up front, the Nelson Mandela Metropole is a metropole that is named after our icon, internationally acclaimed icon, Nelson Mandela. So as such, the African National Congress, we will uphold the values and the principles of that icon, Nelson Mandela. Secondly, we will intensify our working together with our communities. We will emphasize and continue to build a better life for all in this metro. We will intensify the implementation of the basic, back to basic services program to ensure that local government structures serve our communities. We will also see to it we improve the turnaround time to respond on those matters that confront this municipality. We will do so as we have explained over the last 12 months.
Thank you very much. Well, Mr. Kwezi Nchanyana is representing the Congress of the People. You have a minute, sir.
Thanks, Vuyo, and let me say afternoon to you and your viewers. I think this metro is up for grabs. Hence, there's going to be a tense elections program. But as COPE, firstly, we're going to make sure that we send councillor candidates who will make sure that we grab this municipality, because we are very much confident on them, because they are certainly reliable, incorruptible, and accountable. But secondly, we want to make sure that there is economic sustainability going forward. How do we make sure that we do that? Intensify on the infrastructural development, because we know over the last number of years, the researchers have been saying we need almost 32 billion to reverse infrastructural backlogs. So you need a government of COPE that will be very much certain in making sure that you create an enabling environment that will attract direct foreign investment, so that young, ordinary people that are poor get job opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Arthur Trollip is the DA's mayoral candidate. You have a minute, yeah?
Good evening, Vuyo. Good evening to your viewers. Vuyo, Nelson Mandela Bay is the only city outside of the city of Cape Town where the ANC is less than 50%. So it will be the next city outside of Cape Town that the DA will take from the ANC. We will do that based on our manifesto offer, which is founded in freedom, fairness, and opportunity. We make three very simple promises. One, we will stop corruption, not fight a battle against corruption, stop corruption. Two, we will create jobs. And three, we will improve service delivery. We will do that against 6 pillars. One of creating an opportunity where we create work for unemployed people in the city, where we have a caring city that looks after the poor and redresses the legacy of apartheid, where we have a city that is inclusive, that has a public transport system, a city that is a safe city, where people can live and work in safety, a city that is well run, where potholes are filled and maintenance is done on infrastructure, a forward-thinking city. And those are the issues that we will use in a contract with voters to offer them an alternative.
Thank you very much. Well, we've heard what the political parties have to say about what the priorities are for them in this election. We're going to take a quick ad break. After the break, this debate begins in earnest.
Why are electoral systems important in a democracy?
We think of democracy as voting people into office. The other side of the coin is that we would be more empowered and more accountable in politics if we could do the opposite, is vote them out when they don't deliver.
Politics is about who gets what, when and how.
If you look up on the internet as to how the head of state is chosen, it says monarchy.
We should not refer to an election as a contest.
So we should not shy away from the fact that an election is a contest. Of course, I do admit that it's not a bloody contest. It shouldn't be a bloody contest.
It shouldn't be a bloody
people,
contest.
Fight and, of course, and
it should also not be a beauty contest.
Then it shouldn't be also a beauty contest either.
Swiss people, for example, can travel internationally with a cantonal passport, not even a national one. That's like us traveling on a Free State passport, for example.
A lot more Africans are getting smartphones.
You've got 150 million people using mobile devices in this country.
This means internet connectivity is increasing. That results in access to information. Some are using social media to share new African narratives through campaigns.
The friend says, oh, I'm seeing this thing on Facebook. Where is it happening? At Yege Stadium, everybody goes there.
On Network, we tell you how Africans are staying connected. We also have new gadgets, games and social media news. That's Network with Ms. Phumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 19:30 Central African Time.
From the moment you start your day.
My biggest question is how I got myself here on time.
Yeah.
It's so early for a comedian, I've got to be honest.
We are there for you. We bring your morning into perspective.
As news breaks throughout the morning,
is an investment into the future of the airports company, but also the future of our children, the future of our country, the future of the transport sector.
We'll make sure that you get the full story.
Give us quality music.
Load shedding. Listen, this winter.
It's a thing of the past.
And you can count on the weather team with expertise.
Join us live at 6 a.m. daily.
Welcome back, and if you've just joined us, you're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debate brought to you by SABC News. And tonight's focus, the Nelson Mandela Bay Metropolitan Municipality, a metro that most of the parties gathered here believe is up for grabs for the very first time. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Trollip, this time around. Why do you think this municipality is up for grabs?
The municipality is up for grabs because it's been poorly run for the last 22 years. We have seen 6 municipal managers, 6 mayors in the last 15 years. It speaks of political instability. We've seen golden handshakes for every single municipal manager. We've seen service delivery decline. We've seen that infrastructure is not maintained. We've seen that this latest government under Danny Jordaan has reduced their infrastructure budget by 50%, and that decision is visible, and it's going to have long-term consequences. But the DA believes that we can turn that around nonetheless, and we believe that the people are hungry for change. They've indicated that they will vote for change, and we will offer them change. We're the only party who can do it with any credibility, because we're the only other party that is governed other than the ANC, and where we govern well.
You mentioned the word grab, I think, 3 times.
Yeah, I think it's not us as politicians as such who are communicating that message. If you look from 2009, 2011, even 2014, the percentages in terms of votership have been indicating that there is no absolute winner in terms of percentages. So voters are saying they have lost confidence in the ruling party. So then they are saying, bring in a new leadership that will stabilize the institution, and COP is ready to do that work.
So the people are telling you.
Yeah.
Mr. Bobana?
Thank you. The UTM will ensure that on the 3rd of August, people of the Nelson Mandela Metro...
Why do you think this municipality is up?
People in this municipality want decent housing. The housing that are there right now, you can see it yourself. They are open, the houses, and most of the people are still living in the shacks. People want a quality and a decent house whereby when you put in your family, you'll sleep nice in that particular house. People want jobs. Recently, what we have seen under this mayor, the jobs that are actually in here, for instance, the municipal manager, you're having a municipal manager that is coming from another municipality, whereas you've got people that are qualified to do their job in this municipality. And therefore, and you can see that even the people that are working here, most of the people are not actually coming here. People want jobs, real jobs, not just talk. And people want electricity into their houses. You'll find out that most of the houses that are here, you build a house, you don't put the electricity. People want to see electricity. Even in the shacks, this is what the UTM will do, and the UTM will get away with the bucket system.
You obviously default all. I guess the question to you is, why do you believe that they are all dreaming?
Thank you, Budvuyo. What a very good question. We are maintaining as the ANC that this municipality will retain under the stewardship of the African National Congress. Because the survey, the recent survey showed us that those who want to take over this municipality, they received 13%. In fact, it's 10% now. And they gave our mayor more than 50%. It means the new leadership that is here has managed to stabilize this municipality. Both financially, when we arrive here, you would remember, we were less than a year here, myself and Tenny. We arrived at a deficit of more than 400 million. We stabilized the finances of this municipality. Today, in the bank, we've got more than 2 billion rand in the account of the municipality. Secondly, politically, we have stabilized. There were many disunity here, but we've managed to stabilize the unity of councillors in the municipality. For that matter, his own members, the DA members, are resigning. They are being chased away by their DA leader. So we are done.
Where did you get it wrong? Where is he wrong? What point is he missing?
Where the chief whip gets it wrong is that he's claiming easy victories, talking about Danny Jordaan is not even here. He should be the mayor, he should be here telling us about what is happening is not here. Where he gets it wrong, where the ANC get it wrong, is that they refer to an Ipsos Markano survey where they interviewed 900 people. We don't even know whether those people are registered. It was 9 months ago. It has very little relevance now. The only survey we want to hear is on the 3rd of August, when we see what the people say when they vote. And we have seen the ANC being brought below 50%. It's a reality. They're going down in the polls every day because of their poor track record of service delivery. We've seen their president is embattled, their party is embattled. And Mr. Suka talks about unhappy political members from other political parties. After this weekend's list conference, you will see how many unhappy people there are in this party because the ANC is divided in Nelson Mandela Bay.
Well, I mean, we'll get to some of the reasons. But surely you cannot rubbish a survey simply because you don't like its outcome.
I never did rubbish the survey. I said it was 9 months old. It's irrelevant. The real survey is an election. Now, I want to tell you that that survey of 900 people was a long time ago. Danny Jordan had been in office for 5 months. We had just started our electoral campaign, and things are going to change. We're not taking solace or happiness from a survey. We are on the ground, going door to door, convincing people to vote for change. People have decided that they want change. People are going to stand up for change. They're going to vote for change, and you're going to see change in this municipality.
When the DA leader was trounced in Cape Town by Lindiwe Masibuko, he ran away back to the bishop. Now from bishop, he is here.
People of the Nelson Mandela Metro are not interested with the squabbles between the DA and the ANC. People of the Nelson Mandela Metro are sleeping without food today. They want to know what will the UTM, when it takes over after the 3rd of August, provide them. We want to tell the people of the Nelson Mandela Metro that the UTM will do exactly the same as they have done in Ward 30, Vuyo. What is happening? The same survey that is claiming that the ANC will win, it did the same before the elections, the by-elections in Ward 30. They give the ANC that they will win with 95%, and you know what? The UTM win with a staggering 49%. And this is what is going to happen here, Vuyo. Both the DA and the ANC, we will all start from the scratch. The voters will start to vote from one, and they want a change. And the only change that the voters are happy with is the UTM. Go in the ground, Vuyo. Go in the ground. The UTM is growing, and the UTM will win this metro.
Yes, sir?
No, the only thing that people know is that local government is collapsing. Across the country, including Nelson Mandela Metro, there are violent service delivery protests because they know that the money that they pay through rates and services is being stolen somewhere in the corridors. So what they want to make sure is that we get rid of the thieves. That's one thing immediately. So COP is going to do that. But two, you subject those that have stolen money in the administration in disciplinary processes, but you quicken that. You cannot have disciplinary processes that last over 5 years, you see. But thirdly, you make sure that you institute criminal charges to those that have been found guilty, because they cannot be earning whilst they are guilty of stealing people's monies. But fourthly, what we're saying to you, to make sure that this government is, COPE government is going to ensure good, clean administration, we want to make sure that municipal public accounts committees are given legal teeth so that councillors are empowered to uproot corruption. Thank you.
Time to take another quick break. This debate continues right after this.
Good afternoon. You're watching the Midday Report.
Lunchtime news amplified.
But for now, this is what they call home. Their hope to shift to a higher ground seems to be against the tide.
Midday Report provides you with more than just news stories.
I just want Port Elizabeth to know that they own a world-class theatre.
Good afternoon. You're with the news at 1 in the headlines.
Very good afternoon to you. This is News Live. I'm Natasha Thorpe. Let's take a quick look at what's coming up in your headlines.
Good afternoon and welcome to A View from the House.
For all things news, tune in to Midday Report weekdays at 12 noon only on the SABC News channel.
Health Talk looks into incorrect lifestyles that lead to chronic diseases. It is extremely important to take care of our bodies to a long, healthy life.
Incorrect eating and being inactive then leads to the person becoming overweight and obese.
The kidney is one of the essential organs of our bodies. It keeps us healthy and extracts toxins from our blood.
The kidney controls the blood pressure. Right. And if the blood pressure is not normal, then your heart is affected, all the blood vessels in your body is affected.
Dialysis is the only solution to kidney failure. The support of the family is crucial.
What made it possible for me is to accept that I've got kidney failure.
Join your host, Dr. Sidla Mutawung, every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debates brought to you by SABC News. Tonight's focus, of course, being the battle for the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan Municipality. Just to give you a sense of where we are at the moment, or where we were not too long ago. In 2011, after the 2011 local government elections, this is the picture that emerged here in this particular municipality. Well, there you have it. The ANC, after the 2011 local government elections, got 63 seats, followed by the DA with 48, COPE with 6, and the UDM with 1. Of course, we're not taking into account, as things stand, the by-elections that followed subsequently over the years. In votes terms, just to give you a sense of how many votes each of the 4 parties that are here got in this municipality in 2011, 51.91%, 40.13% the DA, COPE 4.95%, and of course the UDM with 0.55%. Now, here's what's interesting about this. If I may start with you, Mr. Bobani, how do you jump from there to where you want to be the party that's going to run this municipality, someone may ask?
Yes. Look, the UDM has jumped last year, August. On the 18th of August, the UDM in Ward 30 was 3%.
One ward?
In one ward, yes, in that particular ward. And the UDM, after the elections on the 18th of August last year, the UDM jumped from 3% to 49%.
What did you do?
The UDM goes exactly to the people, door to door, and talk with the people, and the people say that they no longer want the ANC or the DA. They want a change, and then they vote for the UDM. And this is what is going to happen even now. We will jump from 1% to more than 60% on the 3rd of August.
Cope? You know, I think as Cope, we're very much honest about our situation. We know, naturally in 2009, we jumped and we delivered a very strong percentage. But over successive years thereafter, there were internal infightings. But as of 2014, we provided leadership and solved all of those challenges. And in the past 2 years, we have been intensively building a party. And that machinery is very much ready for the 3rd of August to deliver coup.
Mr. Trolley?
Vuyo, thank you very much. Those are interesting statistics from 2011. Since then, we've had a provincial and national government in 2014. It's never happened before that the ANC have been brought below 50%. They did that in the national provincial election, which shows that their fortunes, where they normally do better at local government, are on the skids. You can't turn around a trend, and there's been a downward trend for the last 22 years with the ANC, and ours has been an upward trend. It's been built on solid and good opposition, political realignment. The DA is the only party for all South Africans. You can see what it looks like today. We're proudly a party for all South Africans. We are 12 seats off becoming a government here. We believe we can get those 12 seats in this coming election. We've never had an 11-month campaign, and by the 3rd of August, after that 11-month campaign, we believe that we would have done what was required to become a government here, and we look forward to turning the fortunes of Nelson Mandela Bay around.
If you were the best thing to be able to eclipse the ANC, how did you miss the boat at Ward 30, which clearly was up for grabs?
Well, you know, as I said, over 22 years, we've come from a very low base, and we've shown a steady progression. And we grew from 1.9% to just under 10%. So we tripled our support in that by-election. We're very happy with that performance, and we're going to increase it again. So we have shown that we can grow in non-traditional wards, and we're going to make sure that we grow even further in our traditional wards. You know why? Because people of the city look over the fence, and they see what the neighboring municipalities do under DA government, and they too want greener pastures, and they have seen those greener pastures, and they're going to get them in Nelson Mandela Bay too. And once we've won this metro city, we will take the province as well in 2019.
Well, Mr. Suka, I wanted us to have a look at the ANC's performance, starting, of course, in 2000, where you got 65.73%. It went up a little bit to 66.53% in 2006. Then it went all the way down to 51.91% in 2011. And if one takes into account the 2014 national and local government election, you went to about 48.81%. Now, that's not a good situation to find oneself in. The question is, do you know what happened?
Yes, thank you, Budvuyo. We knew that we had some challenges within the movement, especially during the period of 2008-2009. That's a clear factor. We've acknowledged our weaknesses and our mistakes, and one of them was the internal fighting within the party. Look, over the 104 years, there's no plain sailing where we arrived at 104 years. We had our ups and downs, but after having diagnosed our challenges, we are taking corrective measures in that regard. As a result, that's why you are saying we are confident that the Nelson Mandela, going forward, you will be the witness, the first one to witness. We are going to obtain more votes than the previous elections.
Well, I want to check something. If one looks at the 2014 results, of course, in the metro, you got the DA, that is, Mr. Trollip got 40.80% of the vote. Now, of the three of you that are in opposition, you probably have a more realistic chance than the other two, right? Now, at best, the two of you may just end up being kingmakers. The question then is, will the three of you go to bed if that opportunity presented itself to have a go at him? Yes. Let me start with you.
You know, as COPE, we will evaluate circumstances beyond the 3rd of August. Because the primary objective now is to make sure that COPE wins the municipalities. But failing which...
Are we being realistic?
I'm certainly realistic.
Okay.
You see? Because when you go to play a sporting match, you don't say, definitely we'll go there for a draw. You always go for a win. It then becomes the circumstances on the field of play, then you then say, okay, we'll settle for a draw.
The coalition on the UTM is totally out of our plans. The UTM goes for a win. We have done that in what sense? We jumped from 3% to 49%. And even right now, whilst the ANC and the DA, they are going down, the UTM is going up, and then it will govern alone.
Do you have anything in common with these other parties to enter into a coalition if circumstances necessitate it?
For what the DA has done at our manifesto launch, where we had a full stadium of supporters, we made a contract with voters. And we said that these are the things that we're going to do. In order to do that, we want to govern with a majority of 50% plus one. That's what our intentions are. That's what our strategy is, to do that. The DA has governed in coalitions before. We governed the city of Cape Town in a coalition. We governed it well. We turned it around. Now we govern outright by ourselves. But here's the thing. Everyone's talking about coalitions as if they're new in South Africa. They're not new. The ANC is the ultimate example of a coalition. And they're in coalition with the South African Communist Party and COSATU, which is falling apart, and have lost support to the United Front. So their own coalition is very precarious. Coalitions are precarious and they're weak. But in order to get government and to bring service delivery, if we don't win a majority, we will talk about a penalty shootout after the game. But we are here to bring good governance, and whether we have to govern in a coalition or not, we will bring good governance to the city.
Mr. Super, you got under 50% in 2014, and that is a fact.
Yes.
So you should also be thinking of coalitions.
Vuyo, on the matter of the coalitions, look, we are a unitary organization. We are not a federal organization. Surely, after the local government elections, after the 3rd of August, we will assess the situation and what results do we get, so that we take the tune from the center, because we are speaking of democratic centralism. So there's no way that I can pronounce whether we will or not, because we do have a center that holds to guide us as the campus whether to go to take coalitions or not. But secondly, we are confident. There's no need for coalitions here, because we are confident as the ANC, we are going to retain the metro, and we are going to win it outrightly.
One other person has been shot dead and another is in a critical condition in hospital.
The CRL has laid charges against controversial televangelist Paseka Motsoneng.
More than 1.3 million South Africans have been added in the past 2 registration weekends.
The International Monetary Fund warns that policy uncertainty could dampen economic growth in South Africa.
And all eyes are on the new Bok coach, Alistair Coetzee, his challenge to keep everyone in the country happy.
News Today provide news updates giving a wealth of knowledge. Breaking stories and crossing live for you. We follow business developments intensely. Experts and analysts tackle all challenging issues for you. We cover stories locally and abroad to keep you informed. We cover all sporting codes just for you. We are sure to give you weather to be ready for the day. Stay tuned to News Today at 3 p.m. from Monday to Friday on SABC News.
Africa is growing. As a result, it's also advancing the way it does things.
Any developments in technology can really do a lot to boost growth.
On Network, we'll show you how technology is improving the lives of Africans.
The life of an LED globe is 15 times longer than what they have currently.
We also have new gadgets, games, and the continent's innovative technology ideas. That's Network with me, Spumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 19:30 Central African Time.
Welcome back. Tonight's show coming to you from the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro in Port Elizabeth, and that is where a fierce contest is going on between the various political parties hoping to run this municipality after the 3rd of August. Well, time now to take some questions and comments from the respective political parties. I'm going to start with the UDM. Yes, Susan.
Now, the issue that we're facing here in our metro is the increasing number of unemployed graduates. Now, my question will go to you, Mangameli. What strategies do you have as a UDM that will ensure that this issue that we're facing of unemployed graduates in our metro? What strategies do you have that will eradicate this problem? Thank you.
Mr. Bobane?
Well, firstly, the UTM will prioritize the employment of the people that are having the skills. Number one, this is what we're saying, that why do we have to go outside and look for a person, like for instance the municipal manager, whilst the people in the Nelson Mandela Metro are having the degrees and they are having all the skills that they can do the job. And secondly, the UTM will make sure that this thing of outsourcing the work that is supposed to be done by the officials, it will come to an end.
My question is referred to the coming mayor of this metro, Mr. Untitled Chapter. The corrupt ANC-led government has spent more than 4 billion on the IPTS. To date, those buses are collecting dust and rust. Actually, the tires are actually flat, windows are broken. Now, the question is, people want to go to work, because initially the main objective was make sure that people don't struggle to get to work. Now people are struggling. Now what we want to know from you, Mr. Trollip, because we as the activists of DA, who are sure by the 4th we'll take this metro, we want to know from you, what are you going to do to ensure that the IPTS come into good footing, just like as we are doing in Cape Town or the Western Cape? Thank you.
Mr. Trollip?
Thank you very much for your... Unfortunately, corruption is defined by the ANC leadership. We have Jacob Zuma, who puts the ANC first, and we've seen the ANC top 6 putting Jacob Zuma first after the Constitutional Court judgment. This particular IPTS situation, between 2.5 and 3 billion rand or more, no one really knows, because nobody's been held to account. Nobody's been fired for the squandering of that money. No one's been fired for having buses that can't turn in the lanes that have been built. Nobody's been held to account why the buses have people alight and embark out the wrong side of the bus. But here's the thing. In the city of Cape Town, where we govern, we have My City bus service that is linking more and more communities to opportunities in the city, integrating a city where you have a one smart card ticket system. In George, where we govern, we have a public transport system called Go George. Here we have 3 billion rand, close to 3 billion rand spent, no buses on the roads, roads that were supposed to have been opened up to ease commuting pressures are now being constipated, because 3-lane roads are now 2-lane roads. You can look at Stanford Road, you can look at Kempston Road. So essentially what we've got is a municipality that never holds anybody to account, squanders money, and does not account for it.
Thank you very much for the question from the ANC.
Since the Trollop family has taken over our farm, they have never built one toilet on it. They have only paid us 200 rand a month and 80 rand a month. It clearly shows now Mr. Trollop is speaking about a caring DA and greener pastures on Mount Prospect. And part of our, what's his name there that they've called? I'm coming to my question. My question is, Vuyo, is that Mr. Trollop has a despicable record working with black people. He has dealt with Valley Swamvenya. He has dealt with Night Mali. He has dealt with Mandela and with Ngamani. My question is, PE, 70% of the people from PE are black. How is he going to convince working with black people, and his record is despicable when it comes to black people? Thank you.
Vuyo, the DA has got no problem convincing black people that we care for black people. That's why we're the fastest growing political party in South Africa. That's why we've grown to 42% in this metro. I don't believe that the gentleman who stood up there has ever even been to Mount Prospect. I was the 5th generation born on that farm. My family arrived there in 1826. I know what goes on there. He's never been there before. And Mr. Truan should be telling you that I have a civil court case. I'll see you in court in February. And the Human Rights Commission has received a letter from my attorneys to say they must do their job. They mustn't obfuscate. They must make a determination. I want the Human Rights Commission to answer, and our attorneys have written to them to say, do your job, don't run away. That matter that he's raising, we will settle in court.
Thank you very much. Councillor Kwezintranyana and the political parties, opposition parties, leaders, are you aware that these people that are talking about job creation are serious, are taking the issue of unemployed people seriously? That here, I've got a letter that is coming from an official of Department of Corporate Governance and Transnational Affairs. Officials who are sick and tired of being made to do things that are filthy by this ruling party. There's an issue that is serious here that they are not talking about. CDWs. What they've done here, people will fill in Z83 forms, but instead of taking Z83 forms and post them to the relevant department, they will be taken to the main office of the Speaker. This document is not signed by the head of department in this department. It's an acting general manager. And to make it worse, Vuyo, this thing was never advertised, and yet it's closing on the 3rd of August.
Corruption.
Do you really think that we are fools in that manner that you will come and talk here? Please. Now, as Congress of the People, we are preparing to govern this city. And we do not put about the bush on that. It's time now for political opposition parties to take over this municipality so that things of this nature do not happen. I can have a copy for you. What is COPE and opposition parties are going to do on issues like this? Thank you.
I think, since our establishment, Vuyo, we have committed ourselves to expose corruption in all its forms. We have committed ourselves to expose non-performance, inability to do work in all its various forms. So with that information in hand, we'll make sure that we follow it to the letter. Because whoever that has failed to do what was supposed to be done, naturally he or she must be taken to book. But where I want to deal with one thing, primarily dealing with the unemployment. This thing of IPT.
Let's just speak to Bozi. Ask all political parties on the same question. Do you have
I think it's very simple. The ANC is desperate to retain this municipality. They're going to abuse state resources to employ community development workers. They've put out that advert across all wards that they don't even control. They think that we're stupid and they don't understand what's happening here. They're trying to boost their campaigning team by employing them through state resources. We will expose that. Even their IDP. The DA will have to change this IDP after the 3rd of August in preparation for the next year's budget cycle. The IDP halls might have been full, as Mr. Suka said, but they're full of angry people who've had enough of maladministration and poor ANC delivery. Drive across the city, you'll see every intersection are burnt tires. Those aren't people that are happy with the IDP. Those are people who want a change of the IDP. And the expanded public works program has also been abused by the ANC systematically for the last 22 years. But you know what? People are starting to wake up. Because where the DA governs, we've won awards for sustainability of expanded public works programs that translate into dignified, decent jobs afterwards.
What that particular comrade brings in to this podium for you is very, very serious. It is indeed a corruption at its highest level, and of which the UDM want to condemn that. And we want to tell him that, please, don't sit with that particular matter. Go and report that particular case to the police, and the culprits must be arrested. Time to talk now is gone. Let's make sure that we report those particular matters. And we want to appeal, Vuyo, that let these elections be fair to everyone. The ANC must not use the state resources in order to actually achieve their goal. Let us be fair. Let the ANC not actually use the state resources. Let it go as the other parties are actually going to the electorate. Let the electorate decide. But corruption can never be tolerated. It must be reported to the police.
Mr. Suga, jobs for parents, use of state resources, corruption.
Thank you, Budvuyo. On the matter of the corruption, especially firstly with that letter, I'm waiting eagerly for that letter so that we can deal with it. We are not going to finish our mandate. For instance, the issue of corruption in this metro, I'm not going to talk about national. Here already, Vuyo, over the last 11 months, we have suspended more than 19 officials who have engaged in corruption. That matter is public knowledge. And also, we don't have even time for those who are lazy in doing the work, who are not making consequences on those matters which are very serious.
Thank you very much. Well, it's time to take another quick ad break. This conversation continues.
What's wrong with Triple M? What is illegal here? Who is being defrauded here, Trevor?
It is about the best interest of the citizens of this country.
But the citizens are the ones who are playing, who are members or participants in this. If you put in 15,000 rand, after 12 months you get 1.2 million rands. I mean, who wouldn't go for this?
Watch Question Time with me, Mpho Tsedu, Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on the SABC News Channel.
Is there a difference between a Ponzi, a pyramid scheme, and a stokvel, or this particular one, which the representative called an alternative financial system?
It's got its own currency. It's got its own banking system.
How do you even trace? The minute there's no track record, the minute there's no banking transactions, it means that we are talking about something that is floating in the air.
It's a system of mutual donation exchange.
30% return on investment, Clive. Is that even a reality here in South Africa? Are they perhaps blessers in disguise?
I'm not going to mention anything about blessers.
Health Talk looks into incorrect lifestyles that lead to chronic diseases. It is extremely important to take care of our bodies to a long, healthy life.
Incorrect eating and being inactive then leads to the person becoming overweight and obese.
The kidney is one of the essential organs of our bodies. It keeps us healthy and extracts toxins from our blood.
The kidney controls the blood pressure.
Right.
And if the blood pressure is not normal, then your heart is affected, all the blood vessels in your body is affected.
Dialysis is the only solution to kidney failure. The support of the family is crucial.
What made it possible for me is to accept that I've got kidney failure.
Join your host, Dr. Sidla Mutawung, every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m.
directly get the money from the national and build houses. You create sufficient employment, but at the same time, you want to make sure that people get houses on time. So that's two. But thirdly,
Mr. Bobani?
Vuyo, the UTM will ensure that there is a proper financial management control. That is the problem is there. If you are not managing your finances properly, then you won't be able to kill the poverty. Now, how are you going to do that? You'll make sure that you are having skilled people to do that particular job. And Vuyo, in the UTM government, it will go on this thing of the SMMEs, whereby people must be SMMEs for life. We want to employ and empower people in terms of their skills. Let us make sure that those people, Vuyo, we give them enough jobs, and also so that those particular people can be able to benefit in this municipality. So proper financial management control will be the order of the UTM.
Thank you very much.
Vuyo, you spoke about poverty. I think the greatest challenge for poor people in the city is to get jobs. We've spoken about that. And then also housing. We've seen that there's a very peculiar incidence in the city where the ANC government builds houses without toilets and toilets without houses. And that's never been seen before. And we've also seen that there's a rectification backlog of 40,000 houses that have to be fixed. Now, Minister Sisulu said that there will be no more rectification. Now, we want to know who's going to fix those houses that the ANC built so poorly. We will have to take that up. But the ANC government has also seen that this city can't run its own housing. That's why it's taken housing over. But we will also have to make sure that we open the bid adjudication committee. Here in this city, jobs are given to pals, and it's done behind closed doors, and we need to do it with transparency and in public, and we will open bid adjudication committee.
Mr. Suga?
Thank you, Vuyo. You know, together, as the ANC, together, we will develop local economies and create jobs by one, ensuring that all municipalities develop special programs targeting the youth cooperatives and enterprises to develop the productive and creative arts so that our young people can be involved in getting these jobs. Thirdly, we will promote the local procurement of goods and services to create local productions. We will encourage the growth of SMMEs because here in the metro, we've got many SMMEs, so which means we need to standardize them, formalize them, so that when jobs are created through the housing projects, they can access those jobs.
Thank you very much. Well, that's where we're going to leave tonight's debate. Thank you very much for watching. Do join us again next week when the focus will be on the metropolitan area of Cape Town. Till then, good night.
Welcome to Tandika's world. She's in grade 10 this year, and her family is as funny as ever. She's still daydreaming.
I mean, really? That's so weird.
Tandika's Diary, Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 on SABC 1. Mzansi for sure.
What happens after happily ever after?
What's your ring, baby? Do you want to tell me something?
Do the tough times leave us weaker?
No secrets.
Or do they make us stronger? Discover the secrets that hide in the shadows on Dreamworld Season 2. Fridays at 8:30, only on SABC 1. Mzansi for sure.
There you go.
Whoa, Uncle, is that Jenny D?
Come this way, darling. I want to show you something.
Wow.
Catch the best entertainment shows on SABC 1, 2, 3, or Encore with your favorite stars and be entertained on SABC TV.
I'm telling you, Mama is in a very strange mood.
Are you sure you're not imagining it?
I wonder what happened. Something has happened.
For edge of your seat drama, tune into SABC Encore, DSTV channel 156.